Dual tracking is a common practice in the lending industry where the banks can still continue to foreclose on a homeowner while they're in review for some type of workout, whether it's a modification, whether it's some type of repayment plan, but it's the process where the families can still be foreclosed on, even though they don't get an answer from the bank on their solution, whether it's a yes or no.
In 2007, some houses were lost, but then in 2008, it was when you could see the numbers going up, like.
So what we saw in our agency in Montebello Housing was that the first wave of foreclosures were due to the subprime loans that originated in 2003, 2004, which if you originate a loan in 2004 on a 3-year arm, it was going to adjust in 2007. So that's what we saw was the reason where there were foreclosures in our area.
I started a package of modification due to a work-related accident that I had in May 2011. Due to that accident, I fell behind in the payments. So I started a modification, and right from the beginning we start facing problems. The information that you get sometimes from different operators, it will be different. For example, at certain points I would talk to them in Spanish, and then I would switch and call them in English to compare their answers to my questions, and they will give me completely different answers. They kept asking for new documents, and we kept submitting the documents. They will claim that they did not receive the package information. So they sent me a notice of default because I did not, I stopped doing the payments due to the process of the modification.
These are hardworking people that have been playing by the rules and really want an opportunity to stay in their home, and for them to receive a foreclosure notice is so demoralizing and so confusing. They just want an opportunity. Just give us the opportunity to stay in our home.
2 years ago, I had a stroke. 2 days before my stroke, my husband lost his job. We had been struggling like for 7 months already that he would get checks and the checks would not have funds. And he kept on working because they would always promise him that he was gonna get reimbursed for the amount, but it wasn't true. It wasn't true. My husband called the bank, and the bank never helped. They would always tell us the same thing over and over, to send the same paperwork and to send them the same paperwork over and over. And it would be every time we would call the bank, it's like we would have someone else. They would say the name, but it was hard to get in contact with them again. So we always talk to different people.
Even sometimes I call with the same customer, I call 4 times the same bank. Because the first guy don't give me an answer. I hang up. The second guy didn't know what to do. I hang up. Third person was not really helpful. The fourth guy really did the job. He went through the financials. He says, I'm going to pass this information. You're going to be in this trial period, da-da-da. And what was 4 calls on the same day with the same customer to the same bank, but the answers were different.
We tried our hardest, and even though I was sick at that moment and my husband, he didn't speak English, he tried his best to get help. We bought this house, I could say almost 13 years ago, and lost it at the beginning of November after 12 years living there. And that's very sad because if they look at our chart since years ago, we were always on time paying our house. And since the moment that I became ill, and my husband started struggling with his job, I mean, we did our payments. We did our hardest, on time payment and tried to stay on track, and we never had help. They never helped us. The bank completely closed every single door for us.
One of the reasons why the banks are moving forward with foreclosure is the lack of communication within the bank. When there's been several times that housing counselors have called the banks, have documented their files, and the bank on the other end has no reference of the conversation that has taken place. When we have spoken to several big banks, they've said that there's about 5,000 to 10,000 files per loan negotiator, and we believe that the banks themselves are losing documents because there's so many undistressed borrowers that are able to get service within the bank.
You call them up, it's like, who are you? I don't know you. Let me see what the computer says. The one guy says, your foreclosure sale is on hold on July 21st of 2010. And then in the same breath he says, oops, tomorrow, July 22nd, your house is going up for sale. All the same breath.
We told them our story and we wanted help. They said, oh, I'm sorry, you have to be delinquent before we can help you.
It's been a big issue because we're one of the hardest hit areas in the country as far as foreclosures. So we see every type of situation come through our doors, and some people you could help and some people you can, depending on the situation. We have seen a variety of incomes here come through our door as far as the situation where you're making so much money, but now unfortunately your business income or your business earnings have gone down, or just simply from a lower income family come through our doors and they're suffering a hardship due to a furlough or layoff or whatever the case. Anyone could at any point suffer a hardship and unfortunately go through this foreclosure process, and that's what we're here for, to help those homeowners.
I bought my house 25 years ago. I've lived in the city of Azusa for 25 years. I've had 5 children there, all gone to school. I had one son that worked for the city, ended up going into the military. She said that we had more money than we had paperwork to show for it. And so they said that was the whole reason that they said no, that they wouldn't do it with us. But the whole time that they were trying, so they say they were trying to modify the loan, they were doing the bankruptcy. We lost our house January 31st.
When we heard about Kathy Marura's case, it was very distressful to us because when she came to us, her son was going to be returning from the Army disabled. And her son had to come to a home that he grew up with, that he no longer had a home due to dual tracking.
We're trying now to find a place. Hopefully we could find something really soon, because we have to be out really soon. Now at the age I am, it's very difficult to go out and try to find another place and to start all over again. I'll never pay my house off. I will never be able to pay a house off. And that's unfair, because that's the American dream, is to own your own home and to be able to pay it off and leave it to your children one day. And that's not in my dream any longer.
A different person sent us an email asking for the same paperwork we'd already submitted. And very detailed, not just like, oh, can you give us your latest bank statement? No, we want all your tax records again. We want you to refill out this form that lists all your expenses. Which we responded, well, I thought we'd already done that. And we got the notice in early July that they were giving us 90 days as of June 25th for foreclosure. So I'm about 2 weeks away from having my home foreclosed on while the loan process is still undergoing modification.
This is about what we are calling the California Homeowner Bill of Rights. And it is simply about bringing transparency and fairness to California's rules around the process of foreclosure.
Attorney General Kamala Harris got involved because of so many claims that were being sent to our office. Scams, senior citizens, low-income communities being victims of predatory lendings. Complaints were being sent from HUD-approved agencies into her office to find out what is going on with these issues and to put a stop to these unnecessary lending practices.
This afternoon, I'm here to sign the Homeowners Bill of Rights, a bill championed by our Attorney General and something that's been fought for over the last number of years. And what's important about it is that people who've been victimized and who might be victimized in the future are getting some legal protections to make sure that the abuses that have been rampant in many parts of the country, including California, will be stopped.
We outlaw the practice of robo-signing. We require lenders to provide a single point of contact for homeowners seeking to work with the lenders. And we require lenders to stop the practice of dual tracking, where lenders continue to pursue foreclosure even after the homeowner has completed a loan modification application. These are major victories for consumers and impose tough new regulations on banks and lenders to stop the abusive practices that we've seen since the collapse of the housing market.
This legislation has also mandated the banks to have a single point of contact and to contact the client within 10 days of a request for some help with a letter and also with a phone call, as well as more certified mail being delivered to the homeowner so they in true know what's happening throughout the whole process.
As soon as they tell me, do you want to be interviewed? I'm like, oh, I'm not sure, but I'm doing it for the people. At this point, the people that can still save their houses. Not for me, because I already went through a hard time, and it's a really sad feeling to lose a house and losing all your past years, that you were in your own home. It's very difficult. Right now, I just hope for the people that are losing their houses to just keep them. I would not like another family to get, to go through the same pain that I did with my family.